Hello everyone, my name is Adam Lesser, and this is my reflection for MIT 812. When I began reflecting about this class and what we've done in the past month, it's been really fast obviously, but it's also been very impactful for what I've been looking at. One of the first things I was able to do, the first objectives that I was able to meet, was just using different audio, visual, image editing sources, be able to use that to actually create something for my classroom. And that's something that I don't really have a lot of experience with. I mentioned this in the specific assignment itself, but beforehand, my video editing skills basically consisted of if I had a video that was embedded in PowerPoint, I could trim the size of it. And I hadn't really tried to mess with anything more from that. So it's nice to have some of those skills that I can fall back on, and it's something that I plan on using in the future. Another thing that I was happy to have the time to work with this quick month that we had was just to evaluate different resources that are out there to make sure that they are safe, legal, and ethical for my students to use. That's something I always worry about for having one-to-one Chromebooks in my classroom, just making sure that I am treating them respectfully and that my students are developing those appropriate visual citizenship habits that they need. And I was glad that this class spent some time focusing on that. The last two things on there do kind of match fairly closely together. Just be able to find different resources, identify them and compare them, and have an idea of what I could actually be using in my class. And this is something that I feel like having this online class really helped me out a lot, being able to see the different projects and examples, different resources that you guys came up with. It certainly gives me a wealth of knowledge, or a good place to look at to find some other things that I could be using in my own classroom. As far as the process, especially for the final assignment that we did, or the entire project, I feel like I did a few things well. There's a few things that I could have improved on. One of the things I felt like I did a pretty decent job was just keeping the end goal in sight throughout the assignments of this month. I felt like that made it a lot easier to work through the assignments, and I hope it showed, at least on the project, that things tied together fairly well. The other part with that, working within the scope of the assignment to reach my goal, I did like how the assignments themselves really made up the entire final project, that by working through those, we were actively contributing to this and not just stuck making something entirely separate throughout the time that we had. As far as improvements that could be made, one thing I would like to continue to work with is just video editing stuff, maybe trying to make some of my own videos that I could use throughout the school year. I've thought in the past about trying to do a flipped classroom, and that would kind of be a great motivator to do some more of that as well. And the same thing with my assignment for the picture. I feel like that could have maybe been a little more impactful, even though it is something that my students would certainly need. As far as ISTE standards and standards that this class was based off of, it's fairly easy to see how all this stuff ties in together. I mean, our syllabus shows us a lot of the information as well. But me specifically, I found a few things that stuck out to me. First one, just that these standards are really providing a framework or a guideline for how we teach in class. That's both for what the students will be doing, as well as how as educators are designing the curriculum and designing whatever project, assessments, assignments, whatever it happens to be. I think that it's a really handy way to kind of get an idea of or approach to an assignment, and it really just makes our life a lot easier. The other thing that I really appreciate about the standards, or what matches with the standards, is just the learning community that we have. Having the chance to look through other people's information, what they're finding and what they're using, has been very helpful and very beneficial. TPAC standards, similar idea, just a little bit different, focusing more on the educator side of things. Again, it formed a framework for this class, but I really enjoyed how it showed how all these different things are tied together, how we can take the technology as well as the content knowledge and the pedagogy and have them all fit together. And I think it was very easy to see how it applied in different aspects as well. The example on my screen, the Powtoon video, how it fits very well with technical pedagogical knowledge. I think that's makes it very much more impactful, that it's easy to access, it's easy to see how it's used, and it's easy to apply to things in the future. As far as for me, one of my biggest takeaways from this course is just to try to use technology in different ways. It can be very intimidating to try something new, especially when you're not sure if it's going to go well or not, and having the opportunity to try some stuff out has certainly been helpful. Powtoons as a conclusion for a lab is one idea that I really like, but also I saw somebody post about using memes as a way to respond to somebody else's project. I think stuff like that is very easy to implement, and it gives our students a chance to try something new. Otherwise, thank you guys for watching, and I've enjoyed the month that I've had with you. Thanks.